I've been homeless for going on 3 years. Now, when I say homeless, I just mean I don't have a house. I haven't necessarily been living on the streets, or I always had some type of roof over my head, whether if it's a family's place to stay or whether if it's a car. And where I kind of like got this ideology from, not ideology, but kind of led into this position where I'm currently staying out of my car for the past 3 years, was I used to be a truck driver. But I'm not going to get too in depth in that. I could get into that on another video. But the experience of living in my car, feeling different emotions throughout the years, going through seasonal depression, it's not as bad as I'm making it seem. But it's been a roller coaster. But overall, it's been a great experience. It's given me the ability to travel freely. Necessarily never really been tied to a job, whether if it's been besides trucking, but that's 3 years prior since I've been in a truck. So I've been doing gig work since I've been out of trucking, staying out of my car. Mainly been doing gig work in the Boston area, but throughout, like, early on, like, say through the past like a year ago, up until a year ago, I would travel to different states and go do different gig work in different states. I really like Maryland a lot. That was one of the like main states I would really travel to and just spend some time out there, like a few weeks. But as far as living in the vehicle, man, like once I got off the truck, it was just like natural. Like, rent was so high, and I was like, man, ain't no way I'm finna be paying all this money just to survive. Like, I never really been a materialistic person as far as like having a ton of stuff. I got a few bags in my trunk, and that's really all I need. Plenty of clothes and stuff. And I don't buy a lot of clothes, but I have enough clothes to where I could switch it up for like a few weeks before I have to do laundry, including like my gym clothes. But so as far as when I first started off living in my car, uh, I was overweight. So what I mean by overweight, I was I'm about 170, like 160 something right now. I'm about 6'4". I was about 100 pounds heavier. So I was a person where I would always eat mozzarella sticks when I was a truck driver, all kinds of pizza, and everything that wasn't really good for you, especially when you're just stationary, sitting down, driving an 18-wheeler. And you compact that, well, you add no exercise to that, it's a horrible mix together. It's a horrible mix. So I would always just be on the road, just doing whatever I wanted, wilding out, smoking like 20 Black and Milds. I'm not gonna over exaggerate, but there was times, like, my cousin was a truck driver. There was times where we would literally FaceTime and match Black and Milds. And I remember there was a time where we smoked 15 Black and Milds, and that's just insane. Looking back, think about that, I'm like, I don't know how. But at that time, it's like my confidence was super low. I was just worried about getting the bag. I was just worried about traveling, but eventually traveling got old. But I was just worried about chasing the bigger paycheck, and at what expense? That expense was my health, my sanity, and just overall the respect for myself. So once I got off the road, I started doing my gig work, and I had a van at first, so I had a converted van. And what I would do, I would literally just stay out the van. I got it for $1,200 down in Florida when I was staying down in Florida for about 3 months. Also doing the whole, nomad lifestyle. So when I got the van and I moved back to Boston, I started staying in the van, and boom, I had the van for a while, probably like a couple years, maybe like 2 years, like a year and a half, 2 years. And then I ended up selling the van. Then I have this car I have now, which was, thank you, Nana. I appreciate it. My grandmother, she got a new car, and this car was just sitting in her yard. And this was my car before, like when I was like 10 years ago. And look how the universe works. The same car, I got it back. But anywho, moving forward. So what I started doing was going through different phases to where, like, okay, my expenses are still currently super low. But going back then, when I first started, I was like, yo, I want to keep my expenses low. and I just want to have freedom of moving freely and not being confined to any specific thing. So just doing the gig work and moving forward. So for about maybe like a year and a half ago, I started getting into fitness. Now this is like the first time in my life that I took it upon myself to like really get consistent with fitness and diet and nutrition, stuff of that nature. So like during that duration at that time, and mind you, throughout my whole time of being homeless, I always, like, no matter what I went through, car issues, whatever, always positive. Like, always, this is how I come. This is how I present to you now, is how I come. This is how I am, you know? And I developed a mindset of strength and a strong sense of discipline, because coming from a point where making money, then, like, good amount of money, then sacrificing, still making money, but on the financial side, like sacrificing the income amount so I could work in other areas and aspects of my life. It was a hectic battle at first, but like, and you know, in the past recently, but you learn how to weather the storm. But going back to the start of the fitness, I started about my fitness journey about a year and a half ago. So at first, I've been a vegetarian for since I was about 19. I'm 29 now, so about a decade. But during this time, I was more healthier than like the mozzarella sticks and stuff, because I stopped that about like 2 years, like a year and almost 2 years ago. So I started like trimming down my diet. So I started, like, I still was eating pizza, I was eating fish, different things, but I was eating less of it. And then I started cutting down to like, okay, I'm gonna eat more healthier options, as far as like, let me make like salmon and rice and stuff. And then for snacks, I was eating like certain protein bars. And then started working out, just doing minor little light weights and stuff, just to have something to do, and have also a routine. Because one thing, living out of your vehicle, you definitely want to have some sort of routine whenever you're moving around, and especially figuring out what area. Like right now, currently I stay at a Service Plaza in Boston, because there's really any truck stops in Boston. But especially the area I'm staying in, this is like probably one of the only rest areas within like a 40-mile or 30-mile radius. You get what I'm saying? So long story short, it's important to have a routine, especially knowing your times and stuff, and somewhere where you can have the bathroom too. But anywho, getting back to the story, I was trimming down my diet, and I started rice and salmon and stuff, protein. And then as I was evolving through not only the direction, and I was seeing my body change, I started seeking like spiritual growth. So that, what I mean by that was, I wanted to uplift my being in a different way I never experienced. So I started going on, like, trimming down my diet, and then I started converting to like a raw cashew diet, literally, where like it was a hassle at first, because I was having crazy withdrawals, where like, and it was unintentional, where like going with the raw cashews, it kind of was just organic, naturally. But leading up to it, as I was doing it, then like I'll just subconsciously would just be eating cashews for like, just working on the go for like weeks at a time. Then I realized, like, hey, I started seeing the change in my body while I'm working out. I'm like, hey, I can really do something with this. So, and I was enjoying it the whole time. Like, I was full. I really, still to this day, I still eat raw cashews every day. But long story short, I was seeing my body transform. I was seeing my mentality, everything change about me. And that was consistent for about 7 months. So after doing research, I decided to go on a fruit diet, and the fruit diet was amazing. And I'm still a raw eater to this day, every single day. That's what I do. But long story short, why this correlates with living in my car is because, and having that freedom, is because in the past, being a person who was steadily chasing things outside of myself, I never allow myself time to actually sit down and assess what is going on internally, dealing with past things that I was yet to accept and coming to terms with those things, and having a set of mind of forgiveness, not only for myself but people around me, to where not being a person who's locked into certain ideologies, and learning new things, and doing research, and just overall growing, becoming a man, But there definitely are bumps in the road, and hardships that are going to come with anything you do in life. But I don't see myself buying a house or a property or anything in the near future, because why? Inflation's going up. People could barely afford just to survive. And I always keep in mind, like that saying, don't fix what's not broke. So if I have something that's working for me, I'm not going to change what's working for me, because it's working for me. I like to keep things simple, very calm. I challenge myself. I'm not saying I'm a person who just goes about life in a way where I don't challenge myself in any aspect of my life, whether if it's the gym, whether if it's making money, trying to learn new things, just like this. For years, people I would meet, or people who was already doing YouTube would always tell me I need to get on YouTube and talk and workout videos and all type of stuff. But I finally started because it's just something, it's an outlet, something that keeps me busy. It's something that allows me to get creative in different forms. Like I workout videos too, talking videos just like this in my car, showing you that not all people who are living in their car homeless are addicts or unhappy, or no, that's not what it is. We're regular functioning people, members, and committing members of society, where we're just in our space, not bothering anybody, just focusing on ourselves and what trajectory we want to go in life. So especially with nowadays, where everything's getting more expensive and people are losing their way of life. If this is a situation in a place that you are going to be placed in, or you are currently being placed in, or are currently in, don't be too hard on yourself. In life, there's gonna be ups and downs, but you gotta realize to embrace all the moments, because you're gonna look back at this and you're gonna appreciate the lesson within this moment. And it's like this. It could always be worse. It could always be worse. So don't ever tell yourself, or don't ever be depressed. Feed your mind positive things. Look at it from a standpoint of to get ahead. Because you should always have intent. Pardon me. You should always have intent and purpose with everything you're doing. And also remember, you're never alone. You're never alone. I met so many people, great people I still talk to this day, like different states, because there's a lot of people, good people in the same situation, so don't ever forget that. But I just wanted to get on here and rant and rave and provide you and myself, because I listen to this too. It's like therapy, talking's therapy. It's good for the soul, good for the spirit. But I just want to get on here and speak for a moment. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Doesn't hurt. Like, doesn't hurt. Subscribe, comment too as well. Doesn't hurt. Leave recommendations for any future videos, or anything that just comes to mind that you feel like speaking on. But my name is Up North Clee. I'm the pilot. You guys are the passengers. And we on the plane. And we're going to enjoy this ride. I'm out.